Welcome to Sterling High School. This is the Castle Connection. I'm Jared Claybourn, joined by Mr. Frank DeRico, our Vice Principal. Thank you for joining us. This is January 19th, 2023, and we are about a week away from the end of the first semester. So our primary information today is going to be talk about attendance. Mr. DeRico, as our Vice Principal, is in charge of discipline and student attendance. He'll have some things to say, but before we get to that, just some reminders of the end of the semester. The end of the semester is happening next week. Some of the final class assignments will happen early next week with final exam schedules on the 25th and the 26th. We'll have a special bell schedule here at the high school. They'll take just 2 classes a day with a little break in the middle for their lunchtime, and then we will move through that. So it is an early dismissal on the 25th and 26th, and then on Friday, the 27th, there is no school for students. That'll be a full day staff in-service day. It's kind of our semester break day. One of the things we focus on that day not only is giving the staff time to close out one semester and prepare for the other, but we also do some wellness activities, which are important for our staff, and we're looking forward to those opportunities. Yesterday, we did celebrate our Educator of the Year, Mrs. Mary Jo Eppright. Want to give her another shout out. That was awesomely done. The administration and our Educator of the Year committee put together a wonderful program for her, and she had family here, and that was awesome. Okay, so Mr. DeRico, we want to jump right into our discussion on attendance. So attendance is something we've talked about. I've challenged our whole staff and our administration to make sure we prioritize. We have to improve student attendance. Student achievement, being in school is directly related, right?
Yes, sir.
So some of the things that happen. First, we want to make sure you as parents are aware of the days for each course. So if you are a quarter course person, then you cannot have more than 3 unexcused absences or you will lose credit. If you are a semester course, then any more than 6 days absence that are unexcused, you will lose credit. So one of the reasons why we're giving you this information is because in semester 2, we will no longer be offering credit completion. So credit completion was done pre-COVID. We've done it now this year where students are offered the opportunity to come in on a Saturday to kind of fill up seat time. We're no longer going to do that. And the reason why is we found our data suggests that if students know they can miss 9 days, then they're going to miss all 9 days. If they knew they could miss 12, then they'll miss the 12 days. But for those that are on point, and if they know that it's only 6 days, then those are the days. So we're going to hold to that. We want to raise the bar. And again, the main reason is we need students in school to be educated, and that's going to increase the student achievement. So again, semester course is 6 days. So let's talk about how we notify parents when a student is having an attendance issue.
Yeah, so absolutely. So from our office, you should expect a letter for 4 days of consecutive absences, 7 days consecutive absences, or 10 days. And at that point, you'll receive a drop letter and a truancy notice. As far as latenesses are concerned, for every 3 latenesses, you'll receive, will count towards a day of absence, but you'll be notified by my office to come down. And at 6 latenesses, then we'll reference the parents and notify them of your latenesses. And at that point, we'll start issuing discipline to encourage you to make sure you're here on time. Our goal is to help you be successful at Sterling High School, and that would encourage you to be here on time and get the most academic instruction you could receive at that time. At the same time, if you're incurring any kind of problems or incidents preventing you from getting to school, you should reach out to our office and help us navigate through that situation with you.
So a couple important pieces, right, is number one, make sure that you understand we are tracking attendance for every course. It's not just daily attendance.
Correct.
So for parents, we have an automated call system about absences and lateness. That's the daily attendance that comes in the front door. If you're absent, then there's an automated call that goes out, or same thing if we check you as late at the front door. And again, lateness is defined by being in your classroom on time, not in the school building or not still at breakfast or not at your locker, but literally completing all your tasks, going to your locker, having completed breakfast, put your jacket away, and in your class on time. If you are not in the door, then you are considered late, and that's every class. So you as a parent might have seen your student come into the school building on time, but that doesn't mean that they weren't hanging at their locker or they chose to try to run down for breakfast. And again, the same thing during a school day. They could be late from one class to the other, or maybe they're hanging after lunch with a friend and don't make it to class on time. So if you accumulate latenesses, every 3 latenesses counts as an absent, and that could affect credits earned as well. We're going to reference policy 5463. I'll send that out with this broadcast so that you have that and you can review it. We will be updating that policy to reflect that the credit completion in semester 2 will not be offered as well. So you might get notification from the front office, but that doesn't necessarily mean you get the notification from each individual class. On-course does offer that, and then Mr. DeRico's office, he's charged with trying to track that and then keeping you updated. But again, students and parents, you should be on top of it. You should be knowing where you're at. You have On-Course. You can check attendance via On-Course, the On-Course app. I encourage you to download that as well. So lots of ways we're trying to communicate to you the importance of attendance. Did I miss anything on that?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so again, the big message is for semester 2, there will not be any credit completion offered. Now, we will offer for the next summer credit recovery. That's a different story. That has to deal with failing and a couple different factors. That's a different story. But again, we're talking about credit completion, so you got to make sure that you do it. So the last thing I want to talk about is just proper submission of excused absences. So according to policy 5463, you must submit an excuse within 3 days of returning to school. So if you're out 1 day, and you want that excuse, you saw the doctor, that doctor's note needs to be submitted within 3 days. Similarly, if you're out for a week, you have 3 days after your return to submit that doctor's note. What I'm getting a ton of right now are people trying to submit notes from September and October, and unfortunately, I'm not accepting those. Okay, you must submit them in a timely manner or they're not going to be considered, because unfortunately, we all have a guy or we got a friend that'll write some bogus note, and we have to make sure that we are holding accountable and making sure those notes are valid. Okay, so big message today on attendance. Make sure you're prepared, make sure you're aware, and then parents, we are also going to record Mr. DeRico a commercial that'll be sent to all the students or shown during our morning news so that they are fully aware as well. If you have any questions on the attendance policy, you can reach out to Mr. DeRico or myself, and again, I'll send that out to you. Mr. D, I think that's it for the Castle Connection today. All right, have a great day, and as always, go Knights.